All right, positive energy all the time. Good to see everybody this evening. Yes, indeed. Hope y'all having a great day. Positive energy all the time. Before we get started, let me shout out the ladies. Much love to all the ladies. I've got your beautiful pictures, ladies. You look gorgeous. To the young ladies, thanks for participating. And to all the other ladies, thanks for participating. Also, everyone, send your pictures in. Ladies, send your pictures in so I can add you to the presentation as I highlight the female energy. I don't want it to be too much masculine energy over here, so I want to show love to the ladies. I get a lot of support from females, and I appreciate the support from the ladies. I appreciate the support from the husbands of the ladies that don't really mind them watching me, knowing that I'm not going to try to talk to your wife or your girlfriend. So much love to the brothers, the mates of these beautiful women. Ladies, send those beautiful pictures in to PharaohElAton at yahoo.com. And I'm going to add you to the presentation, okay? So ladies, get those pictures in. So yeah, ladies, get those pictures in. Much love to all the ladies that sent your photos in. You look absolutely elegant and beautiful. I had some of the young girls like, what about our pictures? Everybody got to be old like you? I'm like, no. Y'all can send y'all pictures in too, you know. So the young ladies, they sending their pictures in too. I said, hey, juniors, seniors, and up. Okay, you little girls know. If you think you're a big girl, you're a junior, you're a senior, go ahead and send it in. I'll put you in there. Yeah, so make sure you send those pictures, ladies. Send them to PharaohElAton at yahoo.com. I'm going to add them. And let's see if we can get that presentation to be 5, 6, 7, 10 minutes long. That'll be nice. So you know how we do is rep your city. Rep your city. Rep your city. Of course, you know, I am representing the Windy City, better known as Chicago. Shout out to everybody on Kick. Shout out to everybody on Twitch, everybody on YouTube, and everybody on Facebook. Windy City in the house, rep your city. Are you saying I got it going? All right. Kavinda, I'm doing my thing. Let me see what we got. What we got here? We got Shreveport in the building. They doing big things down there, 50 down there. It's getting ready to blow up in New Orleans, y'all. It's getting ready to blow up in Louisiana. It's getting ready to blow up in Shreveport. The whole Louisiana is about to blow up. We got Philly in the building. We got Oakland in the house. We got Fresno in the building. We got the UK from across the waters. We got San Jose in the building. We got Buffalo in the house. Positive energy all the time. We got Fort Walton Beach, Florida in the building. Yeah, we doing our thing. We doing what we do. Today I'm having this conversation. My brethren, Amra called me. Salute to the Rasta man, Amra. Called me. And we had a little conversation. He's doing really good with his business. I was excited to hear him doing well. Always be excited for others when they're doing well. So the brother was doing well. We were on the phone for a little while talking about business. And he said what we were talking about, I need to share some of that on the live. So that's what I'm going to do. We got Pittsburgh in the building. All right. Positive energy all the time, okay? We got New York in the building. New York is in the building. We got South Africa in the building. I don't know, like I say, positive energy all the time. Positive energy. So yeah, G-Rod, I was talking to Imra. Imra was one of my subscribers, been watching me since like 2017. And then, a lot of my subscribers, they'll contact me. We get to talking on the phone. Next thing you know, we kind of be like family. So Imra is like family to me now. So I got a lot of people from YouTube that's like family to me. We become really close. So Imra, he calls me every now and then, a young brethren, young foundational Black American Rasta, which is a whole new creation that we got going, foundational Black American Rasta. And he's doing good things with business. He's doing really well. And when people call me, I try to listen. And then I just try to add in whatever input I could add in I feel like could help them or could inspire them. Sometimes you don't help them. You just keep pushing them in the direction they're already going in. So sometimes when you see people going in a good direction, cheer them on. Cheer them on. Inspire them to keep going in the direction. And this young brother, he's got it on the ball. So I decided to talk about some of the things we were talking about and extend the conversation because he works for himself. And we were talking about what it's like to work for yourself. So I wanted to talk about that because some people like to start businesses. And starting businesses is challenging. I just watched Cameron's interview on the Breakfast Club, and he said something very interesting. He named all his businesses that's doing great. And he said something. He said, I named all the ones that's doing well, but I did a whole lot of things that didn't work out well. I didn't name those. And that's exactly right. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you can't get caught up with failures and success. You're just an entrepreneur and get out there and entrepreneur. You're going to have businesses that do well. You're going to have businesses that don't take off. But your drive got to be an entrepreneur. Your drive can't just be, it can. You can have a drive to start a business. But typically, if you have a drive to just start a business, when that business doesn't work, uh, you'll stop, which makes sense if that's the only drive you had. So there's a big difference between trying to start a business that you want to start and being an entrepreneur. Trying to start a particular business you want to start means maybe you're an electrician, maybe you're a barber, maybe you do hair, and you do hair and you want to open a barber shop or you want to open a beauty shop, and that's what you want to do because that's what you are. And that's a business person, and that's great. I think that's excellent. I think it's good to be a business person. But a business person, an entrepreneur, is two different things. An entrepreneur does business, okay? Is a creative-minded person that's looking for many different angles of business. And so an entrepreneur will open 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 businesses. An entrepreneur will start a business that don't take off and start another one that don't take off and start another one that does all right and start another one that don't take off and start another one that does all right and have two of them doing all right. And then all of a sudden hit, and now this one's $1 million business, $250,000 business, $500,000 a year business. And that's an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur will get into businesses while they're hot. Businesses sometimes will get hot and then they'll get cold. The business is over with. It's run its course like Blockbuster. Blockbuster was hot. People were renting videotapes. The videotape era disappeared. Everybody started getting into DVDs and Blockbuster was done. It runs its course. If the owner of Blockbuster is an entrepreneur, they have a whole nother business now that you might be supporting that you have no idea that was the owner of Blockbuster. But if the Blockbuster business person was only interested in doing that, then they closed it, cashed out, and chilled. Maybe went and got a job or went to work for another company. Right? Would I say business is like the stock market? Nope. Because the stock market is somebody else's business and your business is your business. The stock market is dependent on other people's business and your business is dependent on your business. So it's nothing like the stock market. Yeah, it's nothing like the stock market. So I thought I'd come over here and give some input about it because people have misconceptions about starting a business. When you start a business, people look at you and say, so are you rich? And that's one of the big misconceptions of starting a business. That's a misconception that you're starting a business to get rich. You're starting a business and the business is based on you thinking it's a good idea. And when you're thinking it's a good idea, you don't have no dollar sign on it. All you know is you think it's a good idea. So you go into the business. You don't know if the business is going to make $250,000 a year, an eighth of a million a year, $1 million a year, 5 million. You don't know. What you do know is you think it's a great idea. Now, there's certain business that people do that nobody talks about. And that's what me and the brethren were talking about. We started businesses because we have dreadlocks. And he had his dreadlocks in the 90s and nobody would hire him. And I had my dreadlocks in 1978, 79, 80, 81, and nobody wanted to hire me. I had a job when I started growing my dreadlocks. And then after I left the second job, when I left that job, nobody would want to hire me because of my hair. So a business, what a lot of people don't know, that a business could be something you start not to get rich, but to earn a living. And this is the part about business that people seem to overlook. You can start a business and earn a living. And the same way you work your job, and when you get finished, you got to go in your 401k. That's the same way you can start a business and live off of your money you make every 2 weeks or whatever, and put some money away and retire and have your 401k. You don't necessarily, when you retire from your job, you're not a millionaire. You're not a millionaire at most of these jobs. So if you work for yourself and you retire and you're not a millionaire, what's the difference? Why you got to be a multimillionaire? Because you're working for yourself. So this is the messed up concept about starting your own business. Sometimes you start your own business because you want to do something that you want to do. But the misconception is that when you start a business, you're working for yourself. And that's the angle I want to talk about this evening. Let me tell you something. Any work, you are working for yourself. There's a difference between starting a business and having a job. And some people think when you got a job, you work for somebody else. And when you get a business, you work for yourself. But that's not 100% true. Sometimes I've even said that. But the fact is, whether you have a job or whether you start a business, you're working for yourself. You are always working for yourself. Always. You are always working for yourself. Always. And that's very important for you to know, because it's not either or. You can have a job and be an entrepreneur, which I always advise. I always advise young people, when you get a job and you get yourself in a position where you got a job and you can save a little money, rather than buy a bunch of junk, before you buy that expensive car, buy an inexpensive new car so you don't have to worry that it stops, and invest your money and start your own business. That would be my advice. Start your own business, because you're always working for yourself. So when you go to your job, you're working for yourself. You're working with the company and they're making money, but you're making money too. So if you go to work and you're trying to make money, who are you trying to make money for? You're trying to make money for yourself. And they make money while you're trying to make money for yourself. So you're going to work for yourself. They hire you, they pay you so you can take care of yourself, and they have you do things that can make them money. So technically, you're not working for them. You're working for your check and for yourself. You're working to pay your car note. You're working to pay your rent, your mortgage, your phone bill, your internet bill, your car insurance. Whether you start a business or whether you got a job, you are working for yourself. And it could be dangerous to think that you're working for someone else, because when you're thinking you're working for somebody else, that could destroy your creative mind state to put you in the mind that you're working for yourself. And once you're in the mindset you're working for yourself, you might want to extend that. So yeah, I'm working at a job. I'm getting the money for myself. Okay, so what am I going to do with the money I'm getting from this job for myself? Do I want to create my own business for myself from the money I made at the job for myself? That's what you have to think of. You have to go to work with the mindset you're working for yourself. And too many people, especially foundational Black Americans, are going to these jobs with the mindset you're going to work for somebody else. Then you're coming throwing the money away. You're not making good investments for yourself because you're not thinking in terms of yourself. You think you're working for somebody else. So now you want to get relaxation. You want to go have fun because you're tired. You've been working for somebody else. But if you're working for yourself, then when you get the money, you thinking, I got this money for myself. And now you're not going to have the need to reward yourself for working for somebody else because you got this money because you was working for you. Now you can think of the best way to apply this money for you rather than go and think I'm working for somebody else. Let me get my money and throw it away to somebody else. Because foundational Black Americans, that's what you do. You think you're working for somebody else, and as soon as you touch the money, you give it to somebody else. Fast as it come in. Because you don't understand you're working for yourself. I've been working for myself many years. And I remember one day I heard about this thing called Uber. And I said, Uber, what is that? And it was like, you can go and you can drive and pick people up. And you get your app, it's on, and it send you to pick people up. You can work when you want to. When the money comes on your account, you can take it out right away or you can let it sit there. So I'm saying, so let me get this straight. I can go drive Monday. I can start driving at 7 o'clock at night. And whatever money I got at 1 or 2 in the morning, I could put that in my bank account right then. I was with it because I was working for myself. And so as an entrepreneur, Uber wasn't a job for me. It was a fundraiser because this is money I could get over here and invest over there. And if I could turn $200 into $600, And I can go to them and get $200. When I get $200 from Uber, that's not $200 for a businessman. That's $600. Because I'm going to take that $200 and put it over here, and it's going to be six. And then I'm going to live off of the profits of the six. I'm not going to live off the two. I'm not living off of that. So it doesn't matter what I get from that, because that money is not going to go straight out. I'm not going to go drive for Uber, get $900 and give it back out. I'm going to get $900. I'm going to put it over here, and then I'm going to take money from over here, from the money that's growing. So it was one of the greatest things ever for me, because I never had a job. Nobody would hire me with the dreadlocks. So now I work for myself. I'm my own businessman. So I had friends like, you working for Uber? I had to keep telling my boy, listen, stop saying that. That's why he's always broke. Like, bro, I'm not working for Uber. I'm driving. I'm an independent contractor. If you work for DoorDash, if you work for Uber, Lyft, anybody like that, go and get an EIN number for your name, right? And make your name a business. So I took my name, I got an EIN number, started a business as a driver, right? Started a business as a driver. So now I was driving as an independent contractor because I had a business. Eventually, I was going to buy like a black truck or a nice black luxury car, and I was going to go to Uber Black. And I was going to drive Uber Black, and I was going to start my own livery, so I could use the car for my own livery business to take people to Bulls games and stuff like that, or I could use it for Uber Black. Now, when the pandemic came and they were giving out the loans, I was able to go get a loan for my business as a driver. And I didn't scam or nothing. I told them what I make, and they gave me $8,000. And I took the $8,000 and put it in the bank. And I paid rent and bills with the 8. And then when the time came, I sent them all the bank statements, and they forgave the loan. It was a free $8,000. It was free. They gave me $8,000, just gave it to me. And all I had to do was prove that my business was suffering because of the pandemic, and the loan was forgiven. And now that loan was forgiven and I look good, I can go back to that same company anytime. I could go back to that same service, government or agency, and I could get money anytime. They'll give me money right now without a pandemic, because they're going to look it up and say, oh, yeah, Pharaoh, he did right last time. How much you want? $20,000. Here. And so I'm here to tell you to stop looking at your job as a job and start looking at your job as a fundraiser, because that's what it is. You're raising funds to pay your mortgage. You're raising funds to pay your rent. You're raising funds to take care of your children. You're raising funds to buy food, to pay the electric bill, to pay the car note, to have extra money to go enjoy yourself. You're raising funds. And once you get in the mindset that you're going to work raising funds, that's going to help you think about, okay, what should I do with these funds? Maybe I need to save these funds and I need to flip these funds. Maybe I need to stop having $2,000 come in and go right back out. Maybe I need to try to find out how to get 2,000 in and take another 1,000 and see if that could double. Maybe I need to double my money from my job before I pay my bills. Why am I taking the money right back to bills, taking the money? Why am I not taking the money, growing it? Why? The reason you're not, because you think you're working for somebody else. And so my friend kept irritating me because he kept saying, so what you doing tonight? You working for Uber? And I'm trying to teach him. I'm like, no, I don't work for Uber. I work for myself. This is a fundraiser. He didn't understand it. I'm like, bro, I'm an independent contractor. He didn't get it. This money is getting invested. This is not working for nobody. This is fundraising. And this is what I would advise everyone to do. But you got to have the mindset that anytime you go do anything for money, you're doing it for yourself. You're not working for nobody. Once they're paying you, that means you're working for you. You're working to get paid, right? I did. How is you work? If you're working to get paid, how you say you're working for them? You're not working for them. You're working for you. If your check is $3,000 every 2 weeks, that's what you're working for. You're not working for however much money they making and what they doing. What they doing is irrelevant. You're working for yourself. You're basically a contractor. You're contracting yourself. They don't want to teach you that. When you go and get a job, you're a contractor. If you work at McDonald's, you have been contracted to work for McDonald's. You're an independent contractor, but they don't want to teach you that. They try to tell you an employee. So you don't really get hip to how the business world works. No, you're an independent contractor. You're going in there and they hiring you for your skills. If you're making fries, that's still a skill, or they would make them themselves. So yeah, no, I make fries and burgers. Yeah, I cook. I'm a cook. I cook for McDonald's. I cook for McDonald's. And they pay me, right? They pay you. All right, the fact they pay you means you've been contracted. You've been contracted by your company to do work for them. And then they pay you. You are an independent contractor. That's a fact. Once you start thinking of it like that, what is it going to do? You're going to start focusing on the money. And you're like, you know what? Let me stack this money. Do I want to spend a lot of money? No, I don't think I want to spend a lot right now. Because if I spend it as fast as I get it, I'm a sucker. I'm a gerbil on the wheel. What's the point in me being an independent contractor and not saving no money for my business? Because you are a business. And that's how you have to look at it. You look at your home or your apartment, and that's your office. The office got to have lights on, right? All right, got to have lights on. You got to have lunch, so you got to be able to cook something to eat. So you got to have your stove on or whatever. You got to be able to store your food. All of that's a business expense. That's how you got to start looking at this. So where you live at is a business expense, okay? How much is your rent? How much is your life? How much is all your bills? Add them up. Okay, my bills is this much a month. I got to go get this much a month. If all my bills added up is $2,300 a month, and I'm going to get $3,300 a month, what am I going to do with this $1,000? If I'm finna jag it off? Or am I finna take that $1,000, sit still, build up a bigger cushion before I start running, taking my kids, spending it? Them kids better gotta sit their ass down. This idea that you, every time you get $1, you got to take your daughter somewhere, you got to take your son somewhere, you teaching them wrong. You teaching them, you definitely teaching them they're going to be broke. Because you teaching them they always got to be going somewhere. And then when they're not going somewhere, they feel like they missing something in life. And where you going don't be nothing. It don't really be adding nothing to nobody's life. It's a false, you giving them a false sense of that they doing something. So now they don't enjoy life. They don't enjoy being at home. They want to go to their cousin's house and be in their house, which ain't, what's the difference? What's the difference in being in your house and going over here being in their house? None, really. It's a false illusion. So you don't want to sit around and your children don't want to play in your house. They don't want to watch TV in their house, your house. They want to go to somebody else's house and do the same thing they could have did at home with no budgeting on it. I'm not saying, because then the first thing a woman say, well, I just don't want to sit up in the house. That's why the black woman is ruining the money in the black community and teaching the black man to ruin money in the black community. Because all you thinking about is not sitting your ass still. You ain't thinking about no money. All you know is, I don't want to sit still. You could talk to women, you could talk to people all the time. You're going to hear them say, I don't want to just, I want to go live my life. You never hear them say, I want to stack no money. They don't say they want to stack no money. They don't want no money. They want to live their life and just be paycheck to paycheck. They don't care nothing about being paycheck to paycheck as long as they running around. And then when you call them or you see them, you ask them what they did, they didn't do nothing. Just sat and look at some people in their face. Threw their money away to do that. Why you can't do both? Can you afford to do both? Some people, can they afford to do both, Crystal? You know the answer to that. You know they can't afford to do both. You know the answer, Crystal. You know that people are running around and living from paycheck to paycheck. You know that. So you're trying to sell a false illusion that they got enough money to play and hang out, which they don't. They don't. In order to be able to do both, you're only going to do both what? Sometime. Because what you're going to do, Crystal, you're going to make the money to be able to do both. Don't leave that part out. Crystal say why you can't do both. Okay, you got to earn the money to do both. That means you might have to sit to make the money to do both. You might not be able to do both every weekend. You might not be able to do that. And then if you do both every weekend, what's your savings looking like in case of emergency? Because, yeah, some people, Crystal, can do both every week, but they be broke. How many times have women called me, women that I'm not even with anymore, that believe that? Oh, man, they run here, they run there, they run. They say, I don't go nowhere. Then my phone rings. Pharaoh, can I borrow $400? This the same person. Philosophy is to run. I'm crazy for sitting still. Guess who they call to borrow the 400? The one that's sitting still. Now, my thing is, if I ran around like a chicken with my head cut off like them, I wouldn't have the $400. So they using me, right, to sit still. That's why I don't like loaning people money. Because those of us that have money, we sit still, we save. And they don't, right? And then when they hit a brick, now they want you, the person that sat still, that passed up a couple of events, they go to every event, and then they want to take your sacrifice where you saved your money, and they want you to give them your sacrifice to them. But the whole time you saving your money, they wondering why you not running around like them. This is a fact. Because they don't save for a rainy day. They feel like every day, and guess what, Crystal? You don't be doing nothing. When you say you can't do both, that's because you don't need to do both, because it ain't that much hanging out in the world. It's not that much hanging out in the world. Seriously. Listen, I'm 67 years old. There's not that much to do. Let me tell you all something. You know why so many people are alcoholic, sex fiends, drug addicts? Because you're teaching your children that everyday life is exciting, and it's not. Life is boring. Life is chilling. Life is chilling. Now, when you're always trying to find something to do, you turn to alcohol, you turn to sex, you turn to drugs, you turn to gambling, you turn to bad habits because you think life is exciting every day, which life is not. There's nothing exciting for the birds. The birds got a life. You see how they don't go to the club. They don't go to the club. And here's the thing. You're not even running around on your own accord. The system is telling you, go somewhere, come spend some money. The system telling you that. Nobody cannot show me that go and what they say, enjoy life. Nobody can show me where they're doing that on their own. They're doing that from commercials and advertising. It's somebody telling you, come to the club, come here, go there. You need to go. It's beautiful. It's somebody telling you that. You're not doing it on your own. You're being so want excitement. Come give us your money. Come give us your money. Because that's free. You can go out and enjoy yourself for free, but you don't want to do that because that's not soul as excitement. Taking a walk to the park. They don't sell you that. You got to go pay some money and go in a club to have fun, which it don't be no fun. And everybody know it don't be fun. And that's why you got to drink. And you drink it, now you feel like, oh, yeah, I'm having fun. But it's not really that. Once you go, to one, the only fun with a party, honest fun, will be like a party like once every 2 months would be fun. But if you go to the club this week, next week, you can't tell me nothing. I've been outside from a shorty. It's not really fun. Life is boring. And if you don't accept life as boring, you're gonna be a drug addict. You're gonna be an alcoholic because you're looking for excitement. These are facts. You're looking for excitement that's not there. In the effort to look for excitement, people dying early. They dying early. They eating bad. They drinking too much. They doing drugs. They ain't taking care of themselves. They passing away early. Car accidents, shootings, all type of stuff because they just outside, doing absolutely nothing. The only fun outside is going skating. Skating is not fun unless you do it every now and then. Running around skating like a goofy, like a grown-ass goofy, is not fun. That's little kids. It get to a point where you grow up. Going outside, rolling around on some skates every day is for a clown. Period. Anything that you look at, these are people looking for an escape from life. They can't sit still. They can't sit still. They can't think. They have to be doing something. This is taught for the system to make money. That's what it's for. In some cases, right? When let's say I get with a woman and she always want to hang out. If you do a social study on, you find out she ain't go nowhere as a kid. She ain't go nowhere as a kid. She ain't had nice clothes as a kid. Her parents never took her hardly nowhere as a kid. So now you chasing it. You chasing your childhood. You be chasing your childhood. If you was a kid and you let your kids go outside and play hide and go seek and ride their bike every day and really be a kid, they'll grow up. And you ain't gonna want to be outside playing hide and go seek, running up and down. You ain't gonna want to do that. These are all facts. These are absolute facts that you can tell a person that didn't have an exciting childhood because they still be chasing shit that they should have been got out their system. You show me somebody 30 or 40 years old going to the club. They was not going to parties in the 4th grade, in the 5th grade, in the 6th grade, in the 7th grade, in the 8th grade. When they got out of high school, they was not going to the clubs. Me, I've been going to parties since a kid. All through high school, I went to parties. Soon as I got to high school, I went to parties. I went to parties. Phil Jackson parties. I was a DJ. I did parties. Who in the hell gonna do that when they 30 years old? And you still want to go and run around at a damn party? That should be out your system already. These are facts. And I'm not holding that against you. You might not have had that kind of childhood, and you do got to get it out your system. Right? You got to get it out your system. But you do have to get it out your system because it is going to affect your economics. Because there's 2 economical systems in this society. Okay? I'm going to put y'all on game. There's 2 economical systems. There's the first economical system where you go to work. Then there's the next economical system that takes your money when you get off work. That's the one I like to be in. I like to be in the one that takes the money when you get off work. If you watch Baby Boy, they break it down in the movie Baby Boy. And so while you're at work Friday, the clubs are bringing liquor in. Think I'm lying? Go look. While you're at work Friday, at around 3 p.m., clubs all over Chicago, there's trucks pulling up and they're rolling the liquor in for when you get off Friday night. And then when you get off, you're going to take your money, right? You're going to go to the store, buy clothes. You're going to get dressed up. You're going to go buy food. They ready for you too. You're going to go to the club and buy the liquor, and you're going to give them your money that you went and made. And they make more money than you. They make more money. At one time I was a drug dealer, and I made more money than all my customers. None of my customers made as much money as me. They went and worked and called me when they got off work and gave me all their money. I didn't go nowhere. Yeah, I didn't go to the club on Friday. I can't go to no club on Friday. I got to come take your money. Yeah, I didn't go. I didn't hang out. I didn't hang out after work. After work, I came and took your money. Yeah. And I needed a special wife because we go out on Monday. Where after you broke. So after you broke, that's when I take my wife out Monday and Tuesday. But when you wake up and you start spinning around Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, my wife already know we ain't going nowhere. No, we ain't going nowhere. We're not going nowhere. I'm going to lose, if I go out Friday night, I'm going to lose $3,000. I ain't going no down. I'm going to lose 3 racks. I'm going to lose $3,000 Friday. I'm going to lose $3,000 Saturday. I'm going to lose, if I hang out, if I party Friday, Saturday, so I'm going to lose $7,000. And you don't make that in no 3 days. That's how much money I make off of people hanging out. Nobody's going to tell you this but me. That's why I'm the realest alive. That's a fact. Liquor, drugs, all that, that's after work. That's the people take your money when you go to work. Restaurants, you work to bring the money to them. Tell me I'm lying. You work to bring your money to the grocery store, to pay your bills, to take your money to buy liquor, and all of that. Now you're going to be in 2 fields. I was a DJ. I made the money, right? When you get off work, I DJ'd at the club. I always made my money after you got off work. I played in bands, right? I played in bands. I played in reggae bands. And who was coming to the concerts? People. When were they coming? After work. Where did we make our money from? The money they made at work. They go to work. They come pay the club. We play the music. The club pays us to entertain you for you to bring that money that you went and got from work and bring it to us. You go work for us. So to break that cycle, if you know that cycle, you're going to go work and you ain't going to go give it to the nightlife. You're like, I'm giving y'all game. Don't listen. You don't listen. So this way dating is so bad because men are so desperate for sex. You let your woman lead you by your nose and spend your money every weekend. And then you mess around and marry her. But any woman that got to go, she belongs to the streets anyway. She going to cheat on you. Listen, if you got a woman that like to go, she going to cheat on you. She belongs to the streets. If she don't like just staying at home on the weekend and chilling, she going to cheat on you. She going to cheat on you. If you got a woman that's always got to go to her relatives. Always got to go. She cheating on you. If you got a wife right now and every weekend she got to go somewhere, she cheating on you. You think she going to see her mother. You think she going to see her relative. No, she going with some other dude. She cheating on you. It's gonna break your heart when you catch her. She belong to the streets, and you can't satisfy her. You can't satisfy her. She has a burning. Same for men. Ladies, if you with a man and he always running around, he's cheating on you. He gonna bring you HIV. He always like, I gotta go with the boys. I gotta go with the boys. I gotta go with the boys. You have to budget your life, because that's how you budget your money. Like, listen, I'm not finna work 4 weeks and go hang out 4 weeks. I'll hang out 1 week. If you can't go and have a good time 1 weekend out of a month, something's wrong with you. Also, you don't do good math, because people now, they eat to pass away early. They live fast and they pass away fast. So they feel like that's why they rushing. But if you took care of yourself, if you spent more time exercising, eating right, you'll know you're going to live to 90. Well, if you're going to live to 90, you got plenty of time to go plenty places. So another thing about rushing equals death. Yes, rushing, excitement equals early death. Because why you got to go so much? Because you're going to die early. You feel like you ain't got much time. And if you go in the club, you go and you look at most of them, they got big old stomachs, right? They drink too much. They eat bad. They're going to be on medications. While you're chilling and you're still enjoying life at 70, 80, 90, they've been passed away at 50. They've been on dialysis. They've been had cancer. They've been had cirrhosis of the liver. Because the reason they going like that, because they're going to die early. That's why they rushing. I got to go out. I got to go out now. I got to go out this weekend. It ain't going to be no more weekends. That's how you acting. Like, if I don't go out, it's boring. This is boring. I've had people say, I ain't going to just sit up in the house. And you pay all that money for rent, and you pay all that money to decorate a house, and you don't want to be in it. My father say, everybody wants a nice house, but nobody don't want to be at home. You want a nice house, but you hate being in it, which is the dumbest shit in the world. If you think I'm lying, you got a wife, you got a woman. What happens when you get a new apartment, a new house? What your woman do? Oh, she buying shit. She buying shit for the house. Oh, God, I'm going to put this here. I'm going to decorate this here. And once she get the house decorated, guess what she want to do? Leave. She want to go outside every day. The house is decorated for nothing because she don't want to be home, because now home is miserable. I don't want to just sit up in this house. What you bought all this shit for? Why you didn't think about that while we was buying all this stuff? So you buy all this stuff to put in a house, and then you have this sick mentality that you don't want to be home. So what do? You work 5 days a week, and then you got to go. Then you work 5 days a week. You'll never sit down. You'll never enjoy your place of residence. You chasing it. And guess what you chasing? Nothing. Nothing. You can't tell me nothing. I was a DJ. I've been in all the clubs. This is really big Pharaoh. I've been to every club, all the reggae, all the clubs, all the concerts. I couldn't even tell you all the concerts I've been to. And I can tell you when I was young and I went to see the Isley Brothers, I went to these concerts and stuff, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing, right? How long you supposed to be doing that? You're supposed to have that out your system by the time you're 30 years old. If you don't got that out your system by 30 years old, you slow. You slow. Basically, you slow. Because you're chasing nothing. And so now you got to pretend it's fun. You ain't saving no money. You don't take care of yourself. And you pretending stuff is fun that's not really fun. Not really. It's not that much fun in the world. I live in Chicago. It's a big city. Chicago does not have nowhere to go every weekend, 52 weeks. That's a fact. There's not 52 things to do in Chicago. That's an absolute fact. Even if you try to enjoy yourself in Chicago, I swear to God, out of 12 months, there would barely be 12 things to do. Barely. The only way you would get 12 things is you catch a good month where it's a couple things to do maybe in July. It's a couple things to do in this month. And it kind of double up on some months where you went to a wedding and then you like that. But other than that, there ain't nothing to do. Not really. You ever been on Instagram and see these women in these clubs and they be trying to dance around like it's fun? But then when you look at the people in the background, it ain't nothing going on. But they got the camera on, so they be dancing. But when you look in the background, it sucks in there. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, I'm telling you the facts. Because having fun is a kid mentality, like teenager, kid, young adult mentality, basically. From a little kid to around 24, 25. But once you get about to 25, that should be dissipating a little bit. You should be doing bigger things like going on a trip. Now you want to go to another state. Now you want to go see other things. You don't want to just run around the city no more. You've done that. So now you want to do more quality. You want to save your money, do something more quality. You want to go see the redwood forest. Or you want to go see some beach in another state. You don't want to just keep running around this city. You done ran around this city. How long you gonna run around Chicago? And so I know some sisters, and they like to step, and they go to the stepper club, but they're alcoholics. They're alcoholics, and they use stepping to hide the fact that they're alcoholics. So they pretend they're going to dance, but they're really going to drink. Because the only thing they really do when they get there is drink. When you go to the club, the only thing you do is drink. There is nothing to do in the club but drink. That's a fact. Because if you went to the club to dance, we wouldn't have all these fat people walking around. It's too many sisters. You ever seen a bunch of sisters dancing at a party and they overweight? And you're like, girl, you know you don't move like that. If you move like that every day, you wouldn't be swole up like that. But I hear you showing out because you outside. You ain't never been outside before. You know what I'm saying? Why don't you spend that energy and go exercise, take care of yourself, do something that's going to better the body so you can make some money? because health is wealth. And if you ain't got no good health, you can't make no money. You can't make money. And a lot of social activities destroy your health and destroy your wealth. What you got to always remember, see, being an entrepreneur, it's hard to be in relationships when you're an entrepreneur. I'm a natural born entrepreneur. So everywhere I go, when I go somewhere with a woman, me and her on two different pages. So if I take a woman to a restaurant, she's excited to get out the house, to hang out with me and stuff like that. Me, because I'm an entrepreneur, as soon as I walk in the restaurant, I'm doing head counts. I'm like, dang, they making money up in here. You know what I'm saying? All I can see is the money. And I always see myself as a customer, right? So when you always see yourself as a customer, entrepreneurs don't like to be customers, right? Because entrepreneurs are what? Trying to make money, right? So when you're trying to make money, you don't want to spend money. You're trying to get money. You don't want to give the money back. And other entrepreneurs are your competition. So you want to spend money with them limitedly based on only your needs. Because you don't want to go make all this money and turn around and giving it to another person that's trying to make money. So as an entrepreneur, you don't want to go out and sell $5,000 worth of leather jackets and then go buy a watch for $5,000. Because you just sold your jackets for the watch guy. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? If you go selling leather jackets and you sell leather jackets and make $5,000, and you go to a jewelry store and buy a watch for $5,000, you basically sold the leather jackets for the watch guy. It reminds me, one time I had some rappers and we went to Seattle Hemp Fest and I got my booth. I'm trying to set up. I'm trying to make a killing. I'm trying to sell shirts and everything. I'm trying to make $4,000 or $5,000, right? So when we get there, while I'm setting up, they walk off. They come back. They buying stuff. Look, we just got there. They supposed to be going to rap to make money to get on as rappers. As soon as they got there, they was customers. They started buying stuff from all the people. I looked at them. I just said, they ain't gonna make it. They ain't gonna make it. They're not gonna make it. Whereas me, I'm not buying nothing but what's necessary. If I gotta have food or whatever. And so what I would do, I would go, a lot of shows I would go to, and I suck all the air out the room. I make all the money, right? At the reggae shows. So let's say you over there and you got some red, gold, and green socks. You ain't really got none, so ain't nobody stopping, but you got a couple good items. I would wait till Sunday, the last day when it's almost over, and I would go to all the vendors that didn't make no money, and you starving and you thirsty, and I would buy your stuff wholesale, because you got a bunch of junk on your table. You don't have it coordinated right. My whole booth is red, gold, and green. My whole booth is reggae. Everything over here is reggae. I don't got miscellaneous. I don't got kitchen appliances, a reggae shirt, and a blue apple. Everything's red, gold, and green, red, black, and green, everything. So I'm making all the money. You got a junk booth, so I go and be like, how much you want for them socks? I buy them from you wholesale. I buy your socks, put them on my table where they coordinate. Next show I go to, I sell all of them. Why? Because everything is coordinated, but I'm not spending no money in here. I'm not spending no money in here. I'm not spending any money until I leave Seattle or leave this festival, get home, unpack my stuff, count my money and stuff, and then I decide what money I want to spend as a family person or to take care of my living conditions. But I'm not spending no money at no festival where I came to make money. Why would I come to make money and spend money? I'm not spending nothing. I'm here trying to suck all the air out the room. I ain't trying to put no air back in the room. I'm here to get the bread. Are you kidding me? I'm not here to spend. I'm here to make money. And this is Black Americans. Black Americans is suckers. All we do is spend money. We ain't making no money. That's why if you Black, you can't even talk to me. Because there's a race in this country. We ain't making no money. We don't own no gas stations. Most of the restaurants, we don't own them. We don't own nothing. All we do is tricks. All we are is tricks. I'm wondering when we going to start pimping and stop tricking. It reminds me of EPMD song, You a Customer. When we going to stop being customers and go and do some business? We got Arab gas stations in our community take all our money. We got Asians in our community taking all our women's money, hair products, doing her toes, her nails, just taking all our money. We go to work, we come, and we give all our money to everybody else. We got no entrepreneur skills. We don't put no money back into our community. We don't put no money back into business for ourselves. We've been taught to have fun. To have fun. And that raised my children to not want to not be no people that trying to have fun, because I didn't want to be drug addicts. Because the concept of having fun leads to alcoholism and drug abuse. That was a fact. And abusive sex. Because now you start using sex to have something to do. This is our facts. All bad habits in the effort to have fun. Because you don't like the sun. You don't like the sunshine. You can't just sit outside and enjoy a nice day. You got to be what the old people used to call running and ripping. Running and ripping. Running and ripping. Which, for us to get into the business aspect, we have to stop that. Because it's a customer's mentality, and we got to start having a seller's mentality. We got to stop being customers. Seriously. Because going to work and making money and just being a customer, going to work, being a customer, is ruining us. We losing homes in our community. People's houses are getting foreclosed because they wasted money. And we just be losing money. We don't make nothing. We just be spending. We always think that we just supposed to be having fun. And when you start thinking you having fun, you be doing stuff that ain't even fun. That's what be killing me. It don't even be fun. It be an illusion of fun. It be an illusion. You just not in the house. You just happy to not be in the house. But this ain't really no fun. Very few times do it really be fun, because Black people don't have fun no more. You just sit around and gossip and do goofy stuff. See, we used to have fun. We used to get together and play a record. You didn't have to spend a lot of money. They can get a little bit of beer and stuff, and you can play some beer with, some pickup sticks, some Old Maid, some dominoes. That's what we used to do. We didn't spend no lot of money. You got a record player and some records, and you go to one of the relatives' house, and that's where you have fun. You ain't going paying nobody no entry fee to go to no club and all of that, and buying no expensive liquor that they put more money on. We go buy our liquor, and the beer is cheap. Why would I pay you all this for a beer when I could buy beer at home and have a beer for 3 times cheaper than that? How much you trying to charge me for a bottle of beer in this club? We need to get back to that. There's nothing wrong with having a good time, but we need to have a good time in our own environments where it's economically safe. Well, we looking at the economics and say, okay, y'all, we can have a party here and it don't cost nothing. If we go out party here, this costing how much? And when we used to get together as family, nobody went and bought new clothes to go over Uncle's house to play cards and stuff. You put on a nice shirt and pants, you put on some jeans or whatever, you just go over there. Nobody was going out shopping to go to the family's house to play cards and stuff like that and hang out with the family. Now you got to spend how much money to get dressed up to go to the club? They got us going on boat rides. We don't own no boat. We don't own no boat. We going on somebody else's boat. Talking about a boat cruise. And I'm like, I don't know how somebody was on a slave ship want to get back on a boat, but I guess so. I guess so. My bad. Some of y'all don't believe in slave ships. You know, just because some of us was indigenous, you don't believe that there was no slave. You know, you don't believe the blood is mixed. You think you pure indigenous. You ain't got no African blood. That's a whole nother video. How brothers supposed to be smart but stupid at the same time, bro. How you ain't got no African blood when everybody been sleeping with everybody? I guess so. Not me, brother. All my family, we only been sleeping with Hebrews. You know, like yeah, bro. Whatever, whatever. We indigenous, and all the men in my family only slept with indigenous women. You check their DNA, huh? You know what I'm saying? I don't be checking no woman's DNA. I check her booty. You know what I'm saying? If it's popping, I don't care about her DNA. You know what I mean? I'm finna put the D in the A. You know? Well, not in the A, in the P. Yeah, I'm gonna put the D in the P, not the D in the A. We're not doing that. Pause. You know what I'm saying? We ain't doing all that. Y'all stop doing weirdo stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta know how to read. Exit interest. Okay? You're supposed to go in the interest. You're not supposed to go in the exit, bro. But if you say so, don't you see that say that's an exit? You know what the heck? That's a whole nother video. Y'all don't know the difference between interest and exit? Huh? You're supposed to know the difference between the interest and the exit. I'm just saying. But the moral of the story is you got to start thinking yourself as a business. When you go to work, you got to have a business mindset. You got to be like, I'm going to work. I'm making this much money. You got to sit down with a calculator. Got to start adding up what you're doing. How much money I make a week? How much money I make every 2 weeks? How much money is all my bills? How much money do I have left? How much money do I have to spend? How often can I spend this money? This is what you have to do. And you have to say to yourself, okay, I want to have a good time. So you got make money, have a good time. Make money, have a good no. You got to go make money, make money, make money, have a good time. Make money, make money, make money, have a good time. That's how you got to schedule yourself. And it's hard to find black women that want to do that. It ain't nothing wrong with having a good time. But it's got to be make money, make money, make money. It can't be make money, have fun, make money. No, we can't do that. That's the problem. I don't have no problem with having a good time. But it need to be coordinated with the money you making. It can't be money in, money out, money in, money out, money in, money. It can't be like that. It got to be make money, make money, make money, have fun. Make money, make money, make money, have fun. No, make money, have fun. Make money, have fun. Make money, have fun. How you gonna go somewhere like that? And then it ain't that much fun in the damn world. So you don't never want to sit down and enjoy the money. And this is where a boss. See, bosses, we like the dollars. We don't like the fun. We like the dollars. You can have the fun. I want to stack that money. Stack, 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 stack. And then we celebrate based on the stacks. And this is what the black foundational black Americans gonna have to do. You're gonna have to make a certain amount of money before you start going partying and celebrating. What you celebrating? What goal you reached? Ladies, I know y'all like to have fun, but what y'all need to do is start stacking so much money and be like, girl, I only go out after I make so much, and start a new trend. Start having the $10,000 parties. I need to start having clubs that have that. It's a $10,000 party. Make $10,000, then come party. Then make another 10, then come party. Stack up 10, then party. It's the $10,000 party. I bet you have more fun if you stack up 10,000 before you go party. Then you go get your paycheck and jagging it off. Stack something first. So that's why hustlers, that's why it's hard for us to stay in a relationship, because you get with some goofy woman and she ain't got no concept of saving nothing. And you trying to stack money. You ain't trying to go out here and make this money and give it away like that. It's like, girl, go sit your ass down somewhere. This in and out with the money, in and out with the money, in and out with the money. And now look at this economy. It ain't funny no more. Now that this economy is tanking, it's a whole lot of people gonna wish they would have saved their money. You know, bought all them belts and purses and all that junk. That junk don't be worth nothing. We all do it. We all do it, but it's a mistake. You want to start getting to a certain point economically and then go and enjoy yourself. And another thing you want to do, you want to start enjoying yourself where you live at. The concept that you got to go somewhere else to enjoy yourself, we got to get rid of that. You work too hard to have a nice apartment or have a nice home to be running somewhere else to try to have a good time. Throwing money away, going to somebody else. Like, this is so great to go to somebody else's stuff, to have a good time up in some places. That's why clubs is dying. All that stuff is dying. Movie theaters, gone. Drive-ins, gone, because people waking up. The shorties, they ain't doing that. They piling up in a little apartment and having their parties. Well, they can walk to their friend's apartment party. They're not doing all that goofy stuff. They ain't going in no clubs. These shorties ain't doing that no more. These young dudes stacking money. They not going throwing their money away no more. That's why they can buy all them big chains and all that, because they save their money. That's why they can buy all them expensive guns and expensive cars, because they saving, they stacking their money. This is the future. But you ain't going to get there unless you realize that you work for yourself and start cherishing your time and cherishing your money when you go to work, and stop going in there being a slave and then throwing your hard-earned money, because you throwing your life away. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's good to really think about how much you make. You know what I'm saying? You be like, okay, how much this purse cost? All right, how much I make an hour? Okay, how many hours did I stand on my feet for this purse? Nah, I stood on my feet this long for this purse? No. I'm not standing on my feet that long for that. You know what I'm saying? You got to start doing the math. Like, how much did I work? How much of my physical work did it take for me to give you what you want me to give you for this product or for this entertainment? And it got to make some sense. It can't be you work 3 days to go to this shit, to go to something for 4 or 5 hours. You had to, because you want to buy all these expensive clothes and all this junk and go up in here and do nothing. I mean, that's just the way I look at it. Like, we going to have to be more economically responsible. to raise our children to be more economically responsible. We have to teach our children to enjoy life where they at and not just go somewhere, go somewhere, go somewhere. This is something new. When blacks came from the South, they wasn't doing all that. Your ancestors that migrated here from the South, they wasn't doing all that like that. My generation was the first generation. Go somewhere, go somewhere, go somewhere. That's how I know what I'm telling y'all. My parents didn't go as much as me and my sister. My sister didn't go as much as me. I was go, 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 go. Because that was the new era. That was the club era. It used to didn't be no clubs. There was just lounges. And they used to have parties and ballrooms here in Chicago. So they'd rent out to Sheridan or something, had a ballroom, have somebody bring drinks and sell drinks, and then have a big table, and you come up on that floor and have a table, then you go to the party. After they did that so long, then they moved it and they started taking these these bars, and they start lounges, and they turned the lounges into clubs. So the 69 Club and stuff, and they would take these ballrooms, like you could rent these ballrooms if you having a cotillion or if you having a graduation. Well, they started buying them ballrooms and taking them lounges and started making them clubs. But see, it was a money grab, because when they was having the parties in the ballrooms, right, it was a 2-drink minimum. I'm showing y'all they was hustling. So when you come to Phil Johnson party or Gentleman Plus party, you got your flyer say 2-drink minimum. So when you go in there, you got to buy 2 drinks. And they be watching you to make sure you buy them. This is how they making their money. So they moved the party scene to the lounges and turned the lounges into clubs, right? Now, the concept between partying is ruthless, y'all. It used to be bars and taverns and saloons, right? They had the juke joint back in the South, right, that people used to go to the juke joint and party. But it was a small select crowd, and that juke joint was for prostitution. That's where the hoes was at. That was the hoes, and that's where they would be able to do the same thing, sell illegal moonshine. But the juke joint was not real popular. That's a small group of people that would go to that. Because in them rural areas, they was spread out far. They would be spread out far. So a small group went to the juke joint. So, Stisha, these is where people would get stabbed and shot and stuff. But most of your ancestors, they didn't do that. Blacks had parties at everybody go to grandpa house, everybody go to auntie house. This is how most black people party. You go to auntie house, you go to grandpa house, and they play bid whist. A bid whist was, they play bid whist, and they sit around and listen to records like Mom's Mabley and stuff like that. So when I was little, my mom and them had a basement fixed up, and then me and my sister had to go to bed 2 floors up. Then all the neighbors would come in the basement, and they would be down there listening to Red Fox and Mom Mabley, and they would be drinking and playing cards. Cards was the centerpiece of black entertainment, and dominoes. So the centerpiece, but mostly cards, bid whist, was the centerpiece of black entertainment. And then they would be dancing around, because only 4 people could play cards, so the other people be sitting and dancing, talking and drinking. This was the black entertainment back when I was growing up. But here's the trick. So they wanted to sell liquor. All right, so back then you had saloons and you had taverns. And people used to just sit at the bar and drink. And then if you sit in the bar and drink, Stesia, after a while, everybody could tell you was an alcoholic. So over time, by the time we get to my era, and you start getting to like 1980, 82, 83, they realized that if they played music at the tavern, they could sell more liquor. So they moved the parties from the houses to the ballrooms to the clubs. The whole reason, Stesia, they put the parties in the club was only to sell more liquor. Because now you dancing, you ain't paying attention, you're an alcoholic. See, in the saloon and in the tavern, they used to just be sitting at the bar. This when I was a little boy. So like when I'm 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, even 18, they had taverns and saloons. And people go in there, they might have a little jukebox, but ain't no dancing in there. And then you would just sit there and drink. That's all they was for. The bar was just to sit at the bar and drink. Or they might have some little tables to sit down and drink. So then to make more money, they slowly moved the clubs into the taverns and the saloons and started calling them clubs. So a club was a bar that they would extend and put a dance floor in there. So now you're not paying no attention, you're an alcoholic because you in here dancing. So they selling way more drinks. So it was a money hustle. This began to happen mid 80s, like really earlier than that, like 80, 81, 82, when they opened Sawyer's in Chicago, and they was no longer going at the Sheridan or at the Blackstone Hotel. They started going into these places called clubs. There was a place called Club Allegro, and it was like one of these banquet halls that you could rent for a birthday party or something. They bought that, turned that to the 69 Club. See, in Chicago, all the clubs used to just be empty places that you would rent out for like a baby's birthday party and stuff like that. So they stopped going to the hotels. They started buying these little places and opening up clubs, the 69 Clubs, the Hummingbird, all of these. And it was all just a hustle to sell more liquor because they're not making enough money with the entry fee. The only way they make money at parties is with liquor. Liquor is liquor. Without liquor, they're not making no money. So the only way they can make money at the club is with liquor. So they pushing alcoholism. And imagine where they tell you don't drink and drive, but everybody got to drive to party and get drunk. And that's all it's there for. All the club is for is to sell liquor. It's really not for you to have fun. It's a hustle. It's a hustle. When I started selling drugs, when I got stabbed, they came back. They had a club downtown. It's right there on Clark Street, right? It's right there on Clark. It was a little club, and Johnny ran it. And we would go in there and hustle, and everybody from the stock market would come. That's why I was making so much money, because these is people with big money. So they buying a lot of cocaine. So these people would come from the stock market and come in there. I had these little videotapes that I used to make, and you could put them in, and it had all the R&B groups, like all of the singer groups. I used to edit them myself with a double videotape. They was really nice. So I would put them in there. So when I put the tape in there, this is just a bar. This is not a club. So when I started bringing the tapes, there was a little space down the bottom. People started dancing. Do you know when brothers and sisters started dancing in there? You know, one day the city came in there, and the city told Johnny to own the club, y'all can't dance in here. You're going to have to get a cabaret's license. So he was going to have to pay thousands of dollars to get a whole different license if you dance. because this is just for you to sit down and get drunk. This is facts. I'm showing you the hustle. And they came in Johnny's club and told them, because now I got the tapes playing, everybody in there dancing, stepping and dancing, slow dancing. Man, the city of Chicago came like gangsters and say, listen, you can't dance in here. That's going to cost you an extra $1,200 a month. You're going to have to get a new license. You're going to have to get a cabaret license. This is just a bar. Real talk. If you in Chicago and you dancing, they charge more. So if they charge you more and you dancing, they got to what? They got to sell a lot of drinks to cover it. So if you drive around Chicago in the day, maybe one day when I'm on the day and I catch it, I'll show you, you'll see them rolling in the liquor to these spots, the white spots and the black spots. And these white kids and young white people come, 20s and 30s, and they go in there and they just drink thousands and thousands of dollars worth of liquor. That's all it's for, is to get drunk, and then they get with each other, and people get together that don't belong together because they drunk, all of that. But the key to having a good time is drugs and alcohol. And all of those places, there's drug dealers in there. You can show me anywhere where they party at, and I'll show you who in there slinging. Because it would be me. I would come to your city. I would find out where the party's at. I would come in there. I would scan it out. I would find out who in there hustling. A little this, a little of that to them. Intimidate them so they don't show up no more. And then we would take that spot, and then we would serve in there. Because there's nowhere in America where they partying where they ain't got where somebody ain't selling drugs. It's drugs and alcohol. And cheating. Because these women is going in there and they got a boyfriend, they got a fiance, they got a husband, and they in there and men in their face, men in their face, men in their face, and it's nothing but a degradation for the black community. There's nothing going on but alcoholism, drug abuse, and cheating. Sex with just anybody. That's it. Yeah, all you're doing is just throw your money away. But the people that's throwing it, they making money. And that's why I'm trying to show y'all the difference. You the customer, but somebody's making money. And they got you thinking that this is for you, but it's not. It's for them to make money. It's not for you. It's not for you to have fun. It's for you to bring them that money. Period. Money that you could be investing, buying stocks, starting your own business with. You're going in and giving it to these people for alcohol and drugs. Basically. But if you change your concept and start looking at yourself as a business and start looking at your checks as a business and start looking at that you're working for yourself and start really looking at your money and how your money coming in and going out, you'll have a way better life. Because the money replaced the hanging out. This is how we do it. This is how we ball out. The way we make money is that we switch the concepts. It's the only way you make money. Any hustler will tell you that. When you try to hustle, you try to get money. Having fun is out of there. You just get money. No fun, only money. Only thing you care about is the shoebox stacking or the safe stacking. That's all you care about, the safe. Anything make the money go down, that's not fun. The only thing is fun is something make the money go up. And so that's why I would go to clubs and get there 3, 4 in the morning. I got to go make $500, $600, $700. Yeah, then I'll go up in there. But I'm not spending no money. I'm not spending no money in there. I'm a hustler. I'm finna go in there. I'm going to pay my little entry fee. I'm going to buy one drink. That's it. You're not getting none of this money back. I did not drive all night for you to get this money back. Plus, I got to work again tomorrow. Plus, I don't get drunk. I don't get high. I get money. And so once you get focused on getting money, that's gonna be your new high. Spending money is gonna be like, you gotta look at it as a business way. All right, how much I'm making, how much I'm spending. And you're just gonna get your fun off of the money. You're not gonna get your fun off of the spending. Period. That's a sucker. So a lot of times when they get you these jobs, you get these good jobs, you be the biggest clown in the world because you make a lot of money. So you just start throwing it away as a sign you making a lot of money. So let me get this straight. You making a lot of money, so you throwing a lot of money away? You's a bozo. You throwing money away as a sign showing you making a lot of money. So you really went and paid $100,000 for that car? What is you, a clown? You go pay $160,000 for a car and it's parked. It's parked every day, all day. It's barely driven. Before you look up, 1 year gone, in the age of the year, how much you drove it. You did not get your money out of that car. And now the car ain't shit. You still trying to ride around and make the car look like it's something. That's why the game had changed, and the hustlers, that's why we was buying old cars. We was buying old cars and rebuilding them myself, so we got a really nice car for the low. And we could take our time. So if I buy a used car, I don't got to go out and give a whole lot of money and pay a note. I got no note, right? It's just a plain, maybe Lincoln or Cadillac or something. I buy it, right? The reason we did that is, okay, I want to buy some Dayton wheels on it. I'm not buying it with the wheels and all that on it. So I'm buying it at this price. Boom, it sit there. Now I'm stacking money. So I'm stacking so much money before I buy the rims. Then I'm stacking so much more money before I buy the sound system. So it's more economical because I'm not throwing a bunch of money out there. I got no car note. My insurance not high because it's not a new car. And I could build it at my own pace. So at the rate I'm building it, by the time the car worth $50,000, $60,000, but I took my time and did that. So I made so much money in between each purchase. So it didn't damage my money making. I'm not going to go and get nobody no $40,000, $30,000. Why would I do that when I could get this car for $7,000? I could get this car for $5,000. I could get it for $7,000. I could make some money, put some tires on it, make some money, put some wheels on it, make way more money. If the wheels going to cost $2,000, I'm going to make 15 grand before I spend $2,000. I'm not going to go make no $4,000 and spend no damn $2,000 on these wheels. These wheels going to have to wait. You're going to go so many times around the block before you spend. Look at it like that, black people. You want to get your money and you want to go around the block so many times before you spend it. You don't want to get your money, go around the block and spend it. You want to get your money, go around the block 2, 3, 4 times, get some more money, then spend a little. You still doing the same thing. You're just not doing it back to back. You still partying. You still going places. But you doing it, you're not doing it back to back to back to back. But the black man, he's so desperate for coochie from his woman, he always trying to get her to have sex with him, even his own wife. He trying to buy sex from his wife. Buying all that bullshit for her like that, teaching her the wrong economics. We teach our women bad economics. That's why black people, that's why we at the bottom. We're going to stay at the bottom until we change our economics. So much got to be made before money is spent. This spending money every week, it's a catch-22 because when they doing our women's hair, that shit don't last but a week. So she basically is a sucker. She got to go and get the weave up did. They doing her toes and her nails. She got to get that done. The black woman don't even do her nails and toes no more. My mama used to do her own nails. They look beautiful. Them women knew how to do nails good. My daddy had clippers. Me and my daddy would line each other. Once you get a line in you straight. My daddy had clippers. We didn't go to no barbershop every week like that. You just got a haircut. It's still shaped. Now I might get a little raggedy back on the neck. He go in the bathroom, come line me up. My daddy showed me how to line him up. He lined me up. We good. Why we gonna keep going throwing our money away? So these hairstyles and these nails and stuff, we throwing away billions. Because that stuff don't last. Korea is shipping billions and billions of dollars, trillions of dollars to Korea. Ask somebody. Korea and China is shipping billions of dollars from black Americans. We ain't getting no haircuts. We line each other up. Had clippers at home. Mama did her own nails. And that's the key to hustling. The key to hustling is to not spend faster than you make it, to make sure you're making it way faster than you spending it. And to get the satisfaction out the money, but not the stuff. So $10,000 is better than a $10,000 car any day. This was the key. This is how you hustle. And it's always the money. This is how y'all got to get y'all mentality, the money. So if I got $30,000 and I go spend $2,000 to buy some clothes, and then 2 days later I make that $2,000 back, and I got $30,000, your mentality got to be like, this supposed to be 32. If you ain't thinking like that, you ain't ready for this world. You got 30,000, you spend 2, you got 28,000. You go make 2,000 back. Your mentality got to be, this would be 32 if I didn't spend that 2. You still got to miss that 32. And it should take you about 3-4 days before you get over that. Before you just let it go. If you ain't on that, you ain't no money getter. And you got to be a money getter, ladies and brothers and sisters. You got to be a money getter. And once you think like a money getter, then money getters recognize money getters. So now when you go around other people, you recognize them as money getters, and now you got to think, do you want them to get your money? And that changed your whole concept. Do I want to give this my money because he's trying to get money? I'm trying to get money. This a clash. That's how you got to think. And I always think you're working for yourself. You're working for yourself. You're working for your own money. You're not working for nobody else. You think you're working for somebody else that's going to make you just throw the money away. No, you're working for yourself. Respect how long you've been on your feet, how you had to get up every day to get this money and cherish this money, because this money is your blood, sweat, and tears, your time. It's not just money. That's your life. You spent days of your life to get that money. So make sure you spend it wisely or you throwing your life away. Seriously. You throwing your life away. You got to really think. And always remember that you have more fun when you wait than when you don't wait. Facts. Save up $10,000 and go to the club. I bet you feel better than when you only got your check and go to the club. You get your check and go to the club. You ain't going to feel as good as if you save up $10,000 and go to the club. Once you get into that mood to saving money, it's the greatest reward in the world. And you still have a great life. You still have a great life. Don't let nobody fool you. You have an even greater life. Because now you could do things with no sweat off your back. It's benefits from that. So now when everybody see you and you just jump on a plane and fly to Florida, they say, oh, you balling. No, I'm not balling. I saved money a long time to be able to go. Not only did I save money a long time to be able to go, because I saved my money and because I didn't throw my money away, I caught the ticket to Florida for $99, $160 round trip. This is what the rich do. They got frequent flyers miles. They when you got money, you can go when it's cheap. When you ain't got money, you got to go whenever you go. And so the more money you save, when you get used to save, you get more for your money. This is a fact. People are listening. You say, man, don't listen to him. You ain't going to enjoy your life. Y'all listen to me. If you get into the habit of saving money, you're going to go more places and buy more stuff than you did throwing your money away. That is a fact. Ladies, if you save your money, you're going to have better shoes and more shoes than the girl that's always buying shoes. You know why? Because you're going to be able to buy them when they're on sale. And you be able to go get 2-3 pair of some $900 shoes. They only want $200 for them now. Let me get all, you got the 6. Let me get all 3 pair. Now when you come out, they're like, girl, yeah, but I say I got them on sale. I waited and I got them when it was the best opportunity. Because when you waste your money, you can't even hit the lick when a good opportunity comes. You ever seen a good sale and you was broke? And you like, dang, I wish I had some money. I ought to grab them. That's the whole thing. I'm telling you facts. You think I'm lying? Try it. Try it for 2 years. Save money. I bet you end up with more stuff than you would have had if you would have spent money. You're going to have more money and more stuff. And you're going to be like, this is some kind of money magic, which that's what it is. It's money magic. The more money you save, the more places you go, the more stuff you have. And you have more money. That's a fact. The more money you spend, the less you get out of it. That is a fact with money. That's a fact. You going out here trying to buy that new car and that man charged you $29 for that car. If you'd have saved your money, you're going to look up, that man going to be like, come get that car. You get it for $19. Because they be giving these cars away when the new car is coming out. Why would you buy it now? Why wouldn't you wait till the new models come out? Why don't you go out there to where they got to take them back at? Like they have a place where they take all the cars back when the dealer can't sell them. And they got thousands of them just in a big-ass parking lot. And if you've been saving your money, you go out there and walk away with a car for nothing. That's what saving money do. It allow you to catch the deals. It allow you to make moves. You do way better. You get better trips, better everything. And you be content with yourself. Because that's when you in the world. When you get in the world and you realize in this world, it's only 2 worlds. There's the one world where there's God, and God is the most important thing. Then there's this world, and there's money. period, in this world. And money is everything. And the more money you save, the greater you live. And the more money you spend, the worse your life is. That's a fact. The more money you spend, the worse. And listen, I'm going to break it down. This goes for everybody. Now let me talk if you're struggling. If you're struggling and you still pinch off money, if you do that for 2 years, you won't be struggling no more. These is facts. If you're struggling, and let's say you got a little job, but man, if you pay your rent and buy your food and buy your cash, buy everything you got, if you just bought everything that you only needed, you would only have $400 left. If you sat your ass down and just bought the necessities and saved that $400 and pretend you got a messed up life, let everybody else run around. Girl, you want to go? Man, you want to go? No, I can't go. I can't go. And just sit your ass down. Sacrifice that 2 years. You're going to be rolling. You're going to look up, you got $10,000 saved up. And money is magic. When your money go down, the energies in the world suck it away. When the money go up, the energies of the world bless you with more. It's just how money works. So even if you're struggling, if you sit your ass down and just save, you'll be living a great life 2 years later. And you're like, dang, I don't even make that much, but I'm doing real well. Because money attracts money. And just because you sat still and went without and just lived a humble life, and don't get frustrated, and just stack, say that 400, 400, 400, 400. It's going to be weird until 10 months and you look at, you got $4,000. And when you got that $4,000, when you've been used to only having a few hundred, that's when you're going to wake up. Because you're going to be like, okay, I see what Pharaoh's saying. I ain't getting that much of my check. But when I get my check, I got $400 left over, but I got $4,000. And that feeling of that cushion does a lot for your soul. So now you don't feel like you paycheck to pay. You don't feel like you on the edge. You don't feel like you could just get evicted or you don't got no money. That's going to take a load off. And that money going to start growing. All type of opportunities going to open up for you. All kind of good things going to open up for you. All type of money going to start coming. All type of opportunity, I'm telling you. But when your money go down, everything going to break. Everything. Hey, you all got to listen to me. Go ahead. Go start messing your money up. Start spending money. I bet you stuff start breaking. I bet you stuff start happening. I bet you. Once the money go down, it's like a dark energy. And it's hard to stop it going down. It'd be going like this. You'd be like trying to put the brakes on. Oh my God. And sometimes you can put the brakes on and get it to go back up if you're lucky. Because wasting money makes the money you got bad stuff happens. I don't know. It's money magic. I can't tell you why, but I can tell you this is a fact. I remember one time I had saved up, and this was recently, I had saved up like $20,000 I had saved besides other savings, but this was cash on hand. And I gave my daughter some money and my son some money. And I was helping people. I buy this, I buy that. It got down to 10. And then, man, once it got to 10, it got down to 8. And when it got down to 8, I looked up, it was 4,000. Shit just kept happening. I said, what the hell? It went zoom. And I'm like, what the hell? Everybody started having bad stuff. My children started having emergencies that I had to help them out. All of a sudden, the money got on the dark side, got on the negative, and just so when you get that money to going on a positive, you better keep it going because it'll show like some kind of magic is involved with it. And no matter what nobody tell you, you don't have a lot of fun when you don't have that much money. You could pretend, but it's really not as much fun as you be out there pretending. Like when you paycheck to paycheck, it don't be that much fun. Now, when you save a whole lot of money and you go somewhere, oh, you had the time of your life. That's great. I got friends too that go in their 401k, they go in there, and once they go in there, once they go in there again, they go, and it just be gone. And I'm like, what happened to your money? They just kept going in it. And then when they went in it, it just dissolved. And it's like, what did you buy with it? They don't even know. Life just eats it up. I'm like, you should have left it in there. Because once you touched it, that dark money magic ate it all up. Some of them might not never get it back up there, lose your job, and that cushion that you built all them years, you done jagged it off on nonsense. So I hope y'all learn from that. Save your money and build, 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 build. And always remember, you're always working for yourself. You're not working for somebody else. You working for yourself. Respect your money and respect your hard work. Stop thinking you're working for somebody else. Every day you get up and go to work, you're working for you. You standing on your feet, or you bending your back, or you doing whatever you're doing, driving, whatever you're doing. You working for that money. And that company is paying you for working for yourself. You do not work for the company. You work for you. You work for you and make that money last. And especially right now. Right now, I'm going to tell you right now, this year, next year, stop spending money. All bets is off. Vacation canceled. If you're smart. If not, if you don't see this economical situation, I don't know what to tell you. But if you're smart right now, all bets is off. If you're smart, you ain't spending no money because we could easily be looking at an economical collapse under the Trump administration. That's a fact. It ain't looking good. It ain't looking good. The winter's coming. Get some dominoes. Get some playing cards. Get something to play some music in the house. And hey, we finna party at the house. We finna turn up that music. We finna be in here drinking and singing and having a good time at home. And try to save as much money as we can because this economical situation is not looking good. Not at all. With the tariffs, the economy, the stupid stuff the Trump administration doing with troops and all that stuff is bad for business. Business is tanking. Businesses are leaving. Businesses are closing. And people getting fired and laid off left and right. All them Walgreens, all that stuff, boy, it's going to be the biggest, probably going to be the biggest store closings almost in who knows how long come January, February, March, April of 2026. Because they closing Walgreens and stores here left and right. So I hope y'all learn from that. Stay positive. And ladies, send your pictures, send your beautiful pictures. and we'll post them. All right. Victory.